Good morning. I hope everybody's feeling well. Actually, I say good morning. You guys can be practicing at night. I don't know. But I hope everybody's having a good day regardless, and that you're ready to do a little slow stretch because that's what I'm offering today. So get your mat and your blankets, pillows, whatever it is that you have, and let's go ahead and get started with some slow stretch today. Just rolling the shoulders here, lifting up and rolling down, just kind of getting into this mindset of slow, mindful movement. I'm not going to be in a rush today. Alright, maybe inhale the arms up, just stretching up through the arms and the hands and the fingers, and then just relaxing the hands back down. Go ahead and take a deep breath in. Exhale slowly. Deep breath again. And exhale slowly. And then we'll go ahead and maybe move the head to one side. You can have your eyes closed or open at this point. It just depends on your comfort level. Coming back to center, take a deep breath. And exhale to the opposite side. Inhaling back to center, and if it feels good, drop the chin to the chest on the exhale. And then bringing the head back up. So you might just bring your hands out in front of you and circle your wrists. And going back in the other direction. Alright, so bring the hands back down. Let's bring one leg out to the side and go ahead and check in with yourself. See how the inner thigh is responding. Does it feel like you're already getting quite a bit of stretch? And be really mindful about adding to this. I'm going to choose to go ahead and draw my toes back toward my body. I might also choose to lift up tall and fold at the hip crease. That's going to increase the stretch on the inner thigh. So if that's uncomfortable, then just don't worry about that. You can always stay up tall and enjoy the stretch you're getting. I'm going to come back up and I'm going to turn toward the extended leg, draw the toes back toward me, and fold toward that leg. I'm getting quite a bit of calf stretch here. See where you feel the stretch happening in your body. And then easing back up, I'm going to relax that foot and that ankle and swap, going to the other side. Again, evaluate how things feel when you bring the leg out. Decide if you want to draw the toes back toward the body. Decide if you want to lift up and fold at the hip crease. All based on you. I'm going to encourage you to hold these stretches. Like that's where the challenge is for a lot of us. Some of us are people that don't like to be still. And so the challenge sometimes isn't the actual stretch. Like maybe you've got tons of flexibility. It's not the challenge of the stretch. It's the challenge of holding the position. So being able to be still and with yourself can be the biggest challenge for your practice. If that's your personality, that's your dosha. All right, going to come back up. And I'm going to turn toward this extended leg and fold to a place that's comfortable for me. I've got my little baby Bosco over here with me this morning. He's a tired baby. Alright, coming back up. Okay, and we're going to bring the legs in. So I've got one leg in front of the other. That's comfortable for me. You can have crisscross legs. You can have your feet together in Baddha Konasana. But because I have one leg in front of the other, after I fold, which I'm doing now from the hip creases, I'm going to hold here for maybe 3 or 4 breaths, and then I'm going to swap the leg position. So be mindful of that. If you've got one leg in front of the other, then after you've held the stretch for a breath or 2 or 3, come back up and swap that around. Lift up, fold from the hip crease. You're just giving equal time to each hip by doing that. And Bosco thinks he hears a noise. Alright, we're going to come back up when you're ready, nice and slow. And we're going to come into a wide leg position. Again, same thing. Think about where you are in your body this morning, where things are feeling any resistance. If you want to draw the toes up and back toward the body, fine. If you don't, keep them relaxed. But you're lifting up tall and you're folding from those hip creases. So this morning I'm feeling quite a bit of resistance in my inner thighs. I'm not going to go very deep with this. This is an early stretch for my practice. Haven't done a lot of moving this morning already. So this is about it for me right now. I could revisit this in a little while and probably get deeper in the pose. But right now, I'm happy with where I am, and I hope that you will honor your body the same way today. And coming back up. All right, feeling pretty good. I'm going to bring those legs back in. I'm going to bring some attention to my arms. If you happen to have practiced our class the other day, I think it was Tuesday, I did some work on the triceps, and they are sore, plus some other work yesterday. So let's see if we can bring one arm up. Taking the palm of the hand down between the shoulder blades. Oh my, I'm feeling that one. All right, holding here and enjoying the stretch. Trying to keep the head up tall because typically we'll dunk that head down. Keep the head up tall. If you're able to reach over and gently tuck down on that elbow to very carefully increase the stretch, then feel free, but you don't have to do that. Wow, I'm feeling that today. That's good. That means I was working those triceps. All right, as I release, I'm going to bring that arm across the body and hug it in. Remember to keep the arm straight. Don't let your wrist just hang there. Keep things active. If I wanted to activate even more, I would spread my fingers wide and reach toward the fingers, just really reaching the arm out, but you don't have to do all that. You just need to not let it be just hanging there. All right, we're going to release that one, bring the opposite arm up, and take the palm down between the shoulder blades. If we can stand it, bring the head back up tall, and then maybe gently tuck, and breathe. So that's one thing about the breath. If you feel resistance, sometimes what we do is we hold our breath. So what we need to do is take a breath and then exhale into the stretch. And that's going to help us release a little bit. Release some tension. You're releasing the breath. and then releasing some tension with it. Alright, as we release that arm, we're going to bring it across the body, and again, nice straight arm position, feeling the stretch on the shoulders. And inhale to open. Exhale to close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Hands come to the legs. Once more, we're going to go ahead and roll those shoulders. All right, gentle side sweeps. So I like to go into one and then hold here and get into my breath, where when I inhale, I feel some increased stretch on the side of the body. Exhale, release. To the other side. Deep breath. Exhale, release. Back to where you started. Keep going. And coming back to neutral. Let's go to all fours. So I want to encourage you to really see if you can connect your breath and your body today. Going slow with your exhale. Really feel the breath, hear the breath, connect to the breath. Okay, so fingers are spread wide in our all fours table position. If you need to tuck your toes under to prevent foot cramps, please do that. Inhaling, sinking the belly into your cow belly. Exhaling, drawing the upper back up into cat back. Inhale into cow, looking outward. Exhale into cat. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. Coming back to your neutral table position, you're going to slide one foot back, roll up onto the toes, gently pressing through the heel, but keep the knee softly bent. So where I feel this stretch is through my toes, through the foot, through the ankle, and through the calf. Just slowly releasing the breath on the exhale. Okay, so I'm going to come onto the toe, straightening the leg a bit, onto the big toe, and sliding that leg across my body. And setting the knee down. I'm going to bring the other leg back, rolling up through the toes, pressing through the heel. Enjoy that stretch. This is one of those that always feels just so awesome to me because I think it just feels like a really nice release to my foot and to my toes. If something's not feeling like that to you or you're not comfortable, ease off a little bit or just don't do it. I mean, you don't have to do it. It's supposed to be serving your better good, not working against it. All right, so I'm going to straighten the leg onto the big toe, sliding the leg across the body. And coming back. And as I come back, I'm going to go ahead and sink into a child's pose. You want to see if you can allow the head to rest down completely. If it feels like that's pulling somewhere, you could use a pillow or blanket for your head. All right, we're going to come back up into our all fours. So this is one that I started doing that really feels good to the sides of my body. And again, you're going to do what works for you. But I'm going to try to slide one arm out, one hand away, and I'm just dropping down, folding at the hip creases until I feel some nice deep stretch on my side. Coming back, take a breath. Exhale, reaching out, straight out, lowering the body just a bit so you feel that stretch. And coming back. So let's see if we can walk our hands up so that we're coming onto our knees, if that works for you. Inhale the arms up. On the exhale, see if you can interlace the fingers and press the palms up to the sky. As you release, we're going to come back into the all fours position, extending opposite leg and arm. Come back down, walk the hands back up the body, inhale the arms up, exhale the hands down behind your back. See if you can interlace those fingers and draw the hands down. Opening up the chest, the front of the body a little bit here. Inhale your arms up. Exhaling back to all fours. So we're going to think about that other opposite leg and arm. Can you remember which one it is? I do that sometimes. I'll do the same side. And then come down. Okay, so a little bit of a balance challenge from the floor besides what we just did. I'm going to slide, it's going to be my left leg that I'm going to slide back, and I'm going to come onto the foot as I open up and bring that left arm up. So if it works for me, I'll reach over my head, and today it's working. You think about how that's working for you. And inhale the arm up. Exhale back to your all fours. We'll try the other side. Right leg slides back, and you're going to support yourself through the foot, opening up or bringing up the right arm. And if you're able, you'll reach over the head. I try to line the arm up with the ear. Bringing that arm back up on the inhale. Exhale back into your all fours. Let's walk the hands up just a bit. Tuck the toes under. Deep breath. Exhale up and back into downward facing dog. So let's see if we can walk our dog. Press through one heel. Come back nice and slow. Press through the other. Gently walking that dog. And then coming back down to the knees. Now you can come into whatever seated position works for you. Maybe you like to go back to your crisscross leg position. Do what works for you. See if you can circle your wrists here, just being kind to your wrists. Maybe do what I call a counter stretch, which is where I bring the backs of the hands together. So if that's feeling good to you, you might try that. And then just shake it loose. Okay. We're going to come to a stand. So if you want to clear your mat of anything you have there, go ahead and clear that and come up to a stand. And we're going to do just a little bit of balance work today where we are focusing on tree pose. So when we stand in our Tadasana, let's go ahead and spread the toes out. I'm just going to lift that one foot, spread the toes out, come down, spread the toes out on the other foot, come down. Kind of make sure my knees are not locked, and I'm going to bring my right foot to a toe touch. So the toe is still touching the floor. I still have some opportunity to feel more steady. If you need to hold on to a wall or a chair, something like that, then feel free. I'm going to start sliding my right foot up to my left calf. I do not want to slide it up into the left knee. Never want to push into the knee. So it can be below the knee or it can be above the knee. That's just not my preferred. I like to be below my knee when I'm doing tree pose. So I joke sometimes that the phase of the moon affects our balance, because I swear there's some days where we can balance forever and ever, and then other days where it's just not going to happen. Never judge yourself for that. Instead, just say, well, it's just the way it is today. Tomorrow's going to be better. Like today, I'm struggling like everything. It just happens. Okay? So think about drawing this upper leg bone up into the hip socket to help you keep from pushing out on that leg. And then if you want to bring your arms up, or if you want to bring your hands to what we call Anjali Mudra, then you can do that. I can't stand on one foot today, y'all. It's just not gonna happen for me today. Hope you're doing better than I am. I tell you what, post a comment. Let me know how your balance is today. I'm curious to find out if we're all having that problem. All right, we're gonna come down and walk it out. We're gonna try the other side. Sometimes one side does better than the other. So I'm going to try standing on my right foot this time. I'm going to bring my left foot to a toe touch to begin with. Then when I'm ready, I'm going to slide up to that calf, draw up, lifting upwards so that I'm not pushing out on my supporting leg. Hands can come to heart, or they can lift up if I want to have tree branches. This is Vrikshasana, tree pose. Okay, this side is a little better. And come down and walk it out. Okay, so I did some work yesterday, maybe yesterday. You know what, I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before. But we come into a squat position where we got our legs wide, and then we come into this little squat. Well, we're not going to do a bunch of work in this position today, but I do want to get the feet wide and the toes kind of pointed out and the feet pointed out, and just barely bending the knees. What I liked was the first thing that I did here, which was just kind of shifting side to side. So if you can get in this position and just simply do a little bit of shifting. A little shift here and there. It just kind of makes those quadriceps activate a little bit. Not a whole lot of strenuous movement here, just a little shifting. and it might feel good to you. I'm going to go a little deeper. I want to make sure that I'm not pushing my knees out too far over that foot. I don't like doing that. All right, so then I'm just going to come up onto the heel, drawing the toes up, come down on that side, and come on to my heel on this side. So I'm just keeping a little movement with the stretch, watching my balance, and then coming back to a nice straight leg position, folding at the hip creases. Just to give myself a little bit more stretch here. A little Prasarita Padottanasana. And bringing the hands to the legs, pushing through the feet. Inhale the arms up. And exhale the hands down. Okay, step in, coming up to the front of the mat. So we're going to do a little bit of not a true salutation, not a true sun salutation, but just a little modified version of it. So I'm going to come up toward the front of our mat, making sure that our feet are in good Tadasana, knees are relaxed, inhaling the arms up. On the exhale, bending at the knees, folding at the hip creases, coming down to your forward fold. That can mean your hands are at your shins, your ankles, your feet, or to the floor, whatever's working for you. I do like to have my knees bent here to keep from having any strain on the low back, and you will get plenty of stretch in the back of your legs with your knees bent. There's no reason for them to be locked out. You can have your head relaxed here, sort of thinking of a weight hanging, and you can nod the head gently if that feels good, or maybe take the head side to side if that feels good. Just be kind to yourself. All right, when you're ready, you can bring your right foot back into a left knee lunge. Okay, then from here, the left foot steps back into downward facing dog. So I'm just holding my dog position, and you can stay in dog, but if you felt like it, you might come into plank, keeping the body nice and straight here. Take a breath, exhale back into downward facing dog. Okay, so I'm going to try to step my right foot up beside my right hand. So I'm coming into a right knee lunge, the knee is stacked on top of the ankle. Bringing that left foot back into Uttanasana, forward fold. Pushing through the feet, inhale, come all the way up. Exhale into Utkatasana, into my chair pose. So one thing you guys will hear me say a lot is we don't want to be in something that I call tuck butt, where you're tucking under here. And you don't want to be in what I call duck butt. And I have to be especially careful because I have quite the lordosis in my low back. So if I'm not careful, I'll end up doing this, pushing my booty way back and getting too much going on there. So I'm going to try to keep my back as neutral as I can as I come into my chair, so that I'm making all of this area, the glutes and the quads, work for me. Belly lifted, engaged. Take a breath on the exhale, coming down, stepping back into downward facing dog. Again, if you need to walk your dog, feel free to do that. Hold here and breathe. And come down. Okay, we're going to move on to the back. So I want us to do a little bit of work lying down. If you need a blanket under your head, then feel free to use one. But when you come down to your back, you might bring your knees up to your chest and rock, if that's comfortable for you. You might bring the legs up to the sky, pressing through the heels, pointing through the toes. circling the ankles. All right, and then I'm going to bring my feet together into a nice Supta Baddha Konasana so that I'm in this little reclined or lying down cobbler's pose. If you don't like having your feet together, you don't have to. I mean, modify to where it works for your body. You can have the feet apart. And then we'll set the feet back down to the floor. We're going to take a wide foot position here so that our knees and feet are wide. Take a deep breath. On the exhale, allow the knees to surrender over to one side. Stay with your breath here. Inhale the knees back up. Exhale to the other side. Stay with the stretch and breathe. And I'm going to really encourage you again to try to stay, hold the stretch. Try not to jump out of it. Really try to challenge yourself to stay with it if you can. And come back. And then we're going to let the knees fall into one another. This is called resting pose, or it's a resting pose. And the arms are going to be out into a T shape. See if you can take a good breath here. On the exhale, we're going to bring the hands together, connecting the palms, the fingers, and the thumbs. Feel that connection. Feel the right and left sides of the body coming together. Centering yourself here for a moment. Inhale to open. Belly rises. Exhale to close. Belly falls. Inhale to open. Belly rises. Exhale to fall. Exhale to close. Belly falls. And then I'm going to bring my arms into stadium arms, which just means I'm bending at the elbows, and we do this all the time standing up, but we're doing it reclined. If this is not comfortable for you, if this hurts your shoulders, something doesn't feel right, just bring the arms back out straight. You don't have to hold that. So if you're able to have the arms in stadium arms, you could take a breath and exhale, bring them up toward one another. They don't have to touch. They can just come in. Inhale to open. Exhale to close. Again, if this is not working for you and you have your arms out straight, you can repeat what we just did, bringing the palms together with straight arms. You don't have to do it this way. And then let the arms come down by your sides, palms turned up. We're going to bring the feet into more of a Tadasana foot. This is a bridge prep position right here where we're prepping to come into bridge pose. Take a deep breath. On the exhale, lifting the hips. So we're going to encourage those shoulders to roll out and downward to help give us a little bit more lift. And stay with your breath. And easing back down, nice and slow. Slide one foot out straight. Draw the toes back toward you. Point the toes away. And bring the knee back into position. Send the other leg out. Draw the toes back toward us. Point the toes away. And bring the knee back into position. All right, so we're going to see if we can bring the feet together from here, coming into this another Baddha Konasana. It's just that we're not bringing the legs up. Instead, we're letting them stay down. If you need support under your legs, use blankets or blocks. You don't want to feel like the inner thighs are pulling or strained. And coming back into a nice bent knee position. I'm going to roll to my best side, press through the palm to bring myself back up. And then if you have blankets or pillows to sit on, go ahead and get those. Remember, you're sitting on the front edge of the blankets or pillow. So we're coming back into this wide leg position. Earlier I said we might revisit it to see if we've made any gains after doing a few stretches. So sitting up tall, deep breath, exhale into the fold, and I can already tell that there is less resistance than what I had initially when I did this one. Holding here, staying here with your breath. So inhale fully. Exhale completely. Hear yourself breathe. Feel yourself breathe. Connect body and breath. Yes, I can tell a huge difference now from the beginning. If you can, please let me know that too. So give me some feedback. I want to know how your balance has been today, and I'd like to know if you made any gains in your seated forward fold from the beginning to the end of the session. And then ease your way back up. And then come into whatever position you want. So you could lay down, but you can sit up if you want to, whatever suits you. If you need to turn on some music, if you need to turn your lights down, if you need to light a candle, whatever it is that you want to do for yourself right now, let's go ahead and get into a good comfortable place. We're just going to start allowing ourselves to embrace a moment of stillness. Closing the eyes might help. Encouraging the shoulders away from the ears might help. Maybe just take a deep breath, exhale, let it all out, either through your nose or your mouth, whatever suits you. Giving yourself permission to come into a time to be instead of do. Checking in with the physical body. If you feel some area that's not just exactly the way you were hoping it would be, or maybe it still feels a little uncomfortable. Maybe you had a tight spot when you started today and it still feels that way. So let's go ahead and acknowledge that. Take a deep breath, exhale, take a breath into that area, and then as you exhale, imagine that not only is the breath leaving the body, but that tension is leaving the body. That you're inviting some softness into that area. So a wise yoga sage once said that what yoga can't cure, it helps you to cope with. And I'm kind of paraphrasing that, but that's true. So we can't always change something that's going on, but we can certainly allow ourselves to cope with it in a way that works, whether it's through breathing, whether it's through some meditation, whether it's through movement, whatever that might be. Just sort of settling into this time for yourself. The face is softening. The body is heavy against the earth, whether you're seated and you feel those sit bones root, or whether you're lying down, you're feeling that being cradled by that solid earth beneath you. Bringing awareness to the breath. Anytime the mind wants to distract you and draw you away to other things, bring your awareness to the breath. Feeling the coolness of the air as it enters the nose and the warmth of the air as it leaves the body. So you can stay here as long as you need to. When you are finally ready to move, and that can be however you want it to be. And just give yourself a moment to acknowledge what you've done for yourself with this session today. Acknowledge that you focused on your breath. Acknowledge that you've moved your body, that you've breathed oxygen in to nourish and nurture your cells and the tissues and the organs. That you're taking care of the vessel that houses the spirit and the soul. And I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day and evening. Enjoy. Be well. Namaste.